Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will talk about football legends, profiles, and biographies. Every football fan in the world yearns for the chance to experience what their idols through both on and off the pitch. From glorious victories to winning championships to the darker times of fighting relegation and dressing room controversies. This is then coupled with the hugely attractive glitzy lifestyle that footballers live off the pitch. Fans all over would give anything to get a taste of this. While that is sadly next to impossible, all hope isn't lost. The closest we can get to experiencing that footballing life, with all its highs and lows, is by living it through the pages of our favorite footballers' autobiographies. Through surprisingly frank and earnest commentaries given to us by our idols, we have the opportunity to better understand the life of a footballer and truly experience the roller coaster ride of a life that they live. 1. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Everybody loves Zlatan. The enigmatic Swedish talisman is nothing short of a one-man roadshow and brings two things wherever he decides to go: goals and pure entertainment. In this hilariously honest autobiography, the tall Swede elaborates on his tough childhood growing up in the impoverished Rosengård district of Malmö, where he was steered away from stealing bicycles by his love for the game. 2. Andrea Pirlo. The holder of football's most famous beard, an all-round classy guy, Andrea Pirlo has, among the numerous credits to his name, the distinction of having a thoroughly engaging and equally hilarious autobiography. We get an insight into both facets of Pirlo, the dead-eyed assassin of a footballer on the pitch and the uncontrollable joker off the pitch. Through his long and distinguished career, Pirlo has played with some of the most talented footballers of all time, from Ronaldo da Kaká and Alessandro Nesta. While all these players all appear to be superhuman to us, Pirlo manages to paint them in a much more humane manner, where we learn about their quirks and traditions, such as Filippo Inzaghi's hilarious pre-match routine. 3. Didier Drogba. The Chelsea legend certainly has led one of the most impactful lives of any human, let alone of a footballer. While we get fascinating insights into his time at Stamford Bridge, with some hilarious inputs on Jose Mourinho and the John Terry, Frank Lampard friendship at Chelsea, it is his experiences off the pitch that really make this a page-turner. We learn of a young Drogba growing up in the streets of poverty-stricken Ivory Coast and his eventual migration to France, where he pursued his footballing dream and made it to the pinnacle of sporting immortality. What truly manages to elevate this autobiography over the hundreds that we see published every day is his description of how he has tried to make a difference in his home country of Ivory Coast, where the striker has amazingly managed to use his influence on the pitch to stop a civil war in his country, to establishing a hospital in his native Abidjan. 4. Diego Maradona. El Diego is an autobiography that one needs for a variety of reasons, none more so than the fact that it paints the truest picture that you will ever find of one of football's most talented, yet deeply flawed, players of all time. We journey through Maradona's life in the barrios of Argentina, where all he had was the ball at his feet, to his eventual attainment of an almost spiritual fan following in Naples and in his home country. From following his exploits for both club and country, along the way to attaining the title of being the best of all time according to many. 5. Roy Keane. Roy Keane will always be remembered for his tenacious work rate on the ball and his intimidating nature wherever he went. The central midfielder is widely regarded as one of the most controversial characters in football history, along with being one of the best. While Keane recently published another autobiography, which made the headlines for his comments on former manager Sir Alex Ferguson. His first autobiography, Keane, originally released in 2002, is more explosive. In other words, more Keane. He illustrates his rise from a young Irish boy to captaining one of the biggest clubs in the world, along with the controversies and public feuds he engaged in both on and off the pitch, which resulted in him becoming a very polarizing character in football. 6. Edson Arantes do Nascimento. You can't have a list of the greatest football autobiographies and not include possibly the most iconic footballer of all time. We journey through the life of Edson Arantes do Nascimento, also known as Pelé, In this masterfully constructed piece of literature, told to us Pellé's characteristic modesty and understatedness, we learn about his struggles growing up in the Brazilian favelas, where he learned the bulk of his almost unnatural talent for ball control by practicing using oranges since footballs were too expensive for him. 7. Fearing Puskas. Before Pelé, there was Fearing Puskas. The Hungarian striker was regarded as the greatest man to touch a football until a young Brazilian teenager burst onto the scene in 1958. 8. Dennis Bergkamp. The former Arsenal man is nothing short of a legend to Gunners fans, and in Stillness and Speed, we learn about the life of this Premier League legend. We learn of how this enigmatic superstar first burst onto the scene as a pupil of the Dutch maestro Johan Cruyff, and how after some great years at Ajax, he decided that he needed to move on. However, thereafter a nightmare at Inter Milan, there were few takers for his style of play until a certain Arsene Wenger decided to sign this Dutch forward. The two would go on to make history in North London, where they won 7 major trophies together at Highbury. 9. Gary Neville. Gary Neville had found a great outlet to practice his football knowledge post-retirement as a football pundit, and now more recently as manager of Valencia. Neville talks about the birth of his career at Manchester United, where he and his brother Phil Neville were part of the famed class of '92. He recalls the camaraderie present in the dressing room among the group as teens and how in 7 years they went on to win the treble under the guidance of Sir Alex Ferguson, while also giving us a better outlook on the relationship the Scotsman had with his players and the respect he commanded. 10. George Best. George Best will forever remain football's original rock star. The Northern Irishman talks about how he was spotted by one of Matt Busby's scouts in Northern Ireland and initially scoffed at the opportunity of joining the Red Devils. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thanks for watching.